When he got into it, it was, here's a helicopter, here's a long line, go figure it out. So as you can imagine, that's not a safe thing to do, to take a machine and hang a long 200-foot line underneath it and put heavy loads on it and fling it around. So he wanted to create something to teach pilots formally.
Welcome to Hangar X Studios, where former fighter pilot and host John Ramstead takes us on a journey across aerospace as it enters an historic period of innovation and transformation. Our guests include aviation experts, pilots, financiers, military leaders, and innovators of all types. Buckle up for another episode of Hangar X.
Today's episode is brought to you by our platinum sponsor, XTI Aerospace. They are powering the vertical economy, building a long-range VTOL, and you can find more at xtiaerospace.com. Now, please remember to like, comment, and share on this channel, and enjoy today's podcast. Welcome to the Hangar X Studios podcast, and we are live at Verticon, and this is going to be a fun segment. When I was in the Navy, stationed on an aircraft carrier, we would do something called VertRep, which is vertical replenishment. And back in the day, it was a twin rotor H-46 helicopter. Today they do it with H-60s, but these guys would come ripping in on the supply ship, drop a line, pick up a pallet, do this perfect maneuver so this load would not swing and be able to drop it exactly where it needs to go. And that we did it incredibly quickly, and with safety was always a concern. But think about this, there was a real sense of urgency. They had move a lot of cargo. And when the carrier is predictable doing a VertRep, the Navy doesn't like that. And we have Kim Hutchings here. So Kim, and you're from Volo Mission. So first of all, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
And you guys do one thing, and that is long line training for the helicopter industry, for the pilots, the air crews, the ground crews. So tell us a little bit about Volo.
Yes. So my husband and I co-founded it. He's an external load pilot and has been flying external load operations for over 30 years. He did fly the Chinook helicopters in the civilian world.
Oh, he did? Okay.
So he originally started off logging. When he got into it, it was, here's a helicopter, here's a long line, go figure it out. So as you can imagine, that's not a safe thing to do, to take a machine and hang a long 200-foot line underneath it and put heavy loads on it and fling it around. So he wanted to create something to teach pilots formally, which is how we came about to Volo Mission. So we created a course based on all his experience and knowledge, and we've been doing it for about 13 years now. And so you come in and we teach you, it's kind of like your initial training, but it's specifically for learning how to long line.
Yeah, what are some of the elements that I'm guessing that kind of flying is very unique? You got a load hanging down well below you. It's changing the center of gravity of the airplane. There's some unique flight dynamics, both of the aircraft and the load. So yes. Can you speak to some of that?
Yes. So absolutely. You are no longer at that point. So we have commercial pilots that come to us. They've been flying for years. They know how to fly the aircraft. We put a line underneath them, and all of a sudden that line starts pendulum. It's swinging. So you have to learn how to handle that line. You learn how to actually fly that line and control that line and load, because all different loads fly differently.
Yeah. And what are some things that you do when it does start to pendulum?
Well,
or control it, especially when you're coming in windy environment, and you're trying to get it into a very specific spot.
Right. So that's where we teach those techniques, different things, learning how to catch the line when it swings, learning the speed to which that line flies, understanding the wind. When it's really windy, that line flies back further. So you just learn all these little tips and tricks and techniques. So it takes a while to actually master that skill.
I would guess it does.
Yeah.
What are some new things that Volo has planned for this year in 25?
So we are adding additional exercises. We have all kinds of exercises and loads to give pilots a range of experience. So they're not just coming in, flying once, flying a tire around and putting it in a spot. We have air conditioning units, 4 four-wheelers, power poles. And so we're going to expand on that. We have a Bambi bucket, and we're going to create a larger fire area so that we set live fire and they can do spot drops and all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. Who are typically your customers?
We have pilots wanting to get into the industry or into longlining, and then...
So is it a certification, like a sign-off in the logbook?
No, it's not a certification. There is no certification for that. It's just a skill.
Okay.
So we build that skill, and then our other customers are actually the operators themselves. So they'll hire a new pilot, and they'll send them to us for their external load training.
Yeah, that's really exciting.
Yeah.
Now, and you'd mentioned before the ladies of the long line. I got to ask, what is the ladies of the long line?
So Ladies of Long Line is just something that we give a scholarship to the Whirly Girls for the last 6 years.
What's the Whirly Girls?
So Whirly Girls is an association that's been around for 70 years. We just are into our 70th year, and it's female helicopter pilots.
Okay.
So we partner and give a scholarship for the external load training, and that's one element that we do. But in an effort to bring more women into the external load industry and also help with the workforce development for the industry, we've created an event to invite more women to expose them to what it is.
Yeah, we need to get more women in aviation, don't we?
Yes, I'd say so.
Do. And now you guys are also a distributor for Robinson, correct?
Correct.
Now, can you use Robinson for long line work?
That is exclusively what we do.
Okay.
Well, for our training, I should say.
Okay.
So we train with the Robinson R44.
Okay.
We just recently purchased a Robinson R66 utility, which is what we are a distributor for. So we exclusively sell that helicopter.
Yeah, what's that? So you have two parts of the business then, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, how's that part going?
It's just getting going, so we're pretty excited this year to get that up and running.
That's awesome. Well, as we just wrap up, what are just kind of thoughts for people that are maybe interested in maybe adding this to their skill set? What would this do for their aviation career?
I'd say no matter what, this skill set makes you a better pilot. So sometimes we have pilots that just want to come in and improve their skill set. And as far as if you're wanting to get into this industry, I would say definitely seek out some training.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, Kim, thanks for coming on. Good luck to you and your husband. And I hope 25 is a phenomenal year for you guys.
Thank you.
All right. Have a great one.
Thank you.